calls to order.
Or order.
All right,
Big
perfect.
meeting, go to order.
So roll call, Jerry Oliver
Yep.
and Scott Hagan is on vacation, and I did not inform him of our time for today's meeting, so that's on me. I'll fill him in on what's going on with that. As we move into the agenda, were there any things on the agenda that needed discussion, extension, anything that was missing?
I don't think so. No.
So I don't know in these, if in the small meetings like this, if we actually have to go through and vote to approve the agenda and all that,
No.
but I want to make sure that if there's items that we need to discuss, this is our opportunity to do it. And so I'm human, I make mistakes. I try to put all the things, all the items that I hear about throughout the month on there. But I mean, if anything's missing, this would be the time to bring it up.
No, ad hoc's just an informal informational meeting.
Technically, we're a standing committee, which there are different rules for
Okay,
that.
standing committee.
I'm learning all about it.
Either way, whatever.
All right, so we'll move on to the general sewer report. Last month, Brad and I have been pretty busy. So we've been working with Kathy Stone and Dave Hernandez. Dave is Kathy's employee. I think he's a grade four. So we've been doing texts with them and calls. We went and we toured Clearwater in Reading, which is actually a wastewater treatment plant. And so they do a lot more than what we do. And so we got a chance to kind of see that whole process. A lot of it is kind of more learning for the test so that we can start working towards our certification, but that's a process.
Sure.
So that was a really cool learning there. I don't want to spend too much time here because we got them in the items here. But we also we're working through getting signed up with classes and making sure we're working through that mentorship. And Brad got his confined space certification, the paper version, but we do want to sign up for the in-person class, but they don't have it until October. So I think both.
Of course.
Yeah, both him and myself will probably be doing that. And then we've been working to get we got scheduled in for the pond liner repair. So we're pretty excited about that. And then we're also looking to put a plan in place to get a check valve out of one of the lift stations so that we can clean it, take it apart, and see if we can find parts for it.
Okay.
So we're working with Kathy and Dave on that as well.
Have they been up here?
They have not. So Dave asked us to get complete with the first chapter of the test, and then they'll schedule a visit to come out.
Okay.
So Brad, you've already done it. You haven't taken the official test.
I already completed chapter 1. I just started chapter 2 at the beginning of yesterday. Today's Tuesday. That's right.
So perfect. So I mean, I'm making headway in that space, and then we'll get to that later on. So that's pretty much what we've been up to as far as the sewer is concerned.
Awesome. All has been quite good.
So can't really have a discussion with yourself, but any comments based on what you heard?
No.
Okay. Did you discuss it amongst yourself?
I was talking to myself earlier. I don't need to.
Perfect. Any public comment? Perfect. Progress is progress. So.
Trying.
So moving on to old business on the pond liner, we'll deep dive here a little bit. We move forward with Carson Manufacturing based on board approval from the March meeting. We got that scheduled in with a 10% payment down for May 19th. We are going to get a full day of repairs going on that day, starting with the main tear on pond 2. But I did think that it'd probably be worthwhile for a group, including Brad, myself, maybe you or Scott, to go out and just prioritize any additional tears.
Yeah.
And do an inspection, see if there's any other tears that we didn't see. We just had that crazy windstorm come through here. So it felt crazy to me.
It was crazy.
Okay. I was like,
it was crazy.
It might be par for the course for you guys, but I was like, whoa, this is really blowing up here.
I mean, it blows a lot worse down there, but.
Oh, really? So, but it might
Did you have enough screws? Ever.
Perfect. So, but potential damage for anything else, and just kind of making sure that anything below the freeboard is priority, and then anything that's kind of one side of the. So that's probably a question for you.
Yes, we are currently only using one pond until we get the all the tears repaired.
I think currently the last advice we've received is that we should not use Pond One until we figure out a plan with Lahontan and State Water Board as to what the long-term plan for Pond One is. It is kind of Pond Two and Three are significantly more than what we need already. So
Yeah, I know
Pond One
both of
is even
them.
beyond that. So once we get Pond Two repaired and working again, we should be in a good spot, and we have the backup of duplication between the two. And we kind of figured out what the next steps for Pond One might be. So I didn't know if that was something we wanted to try to put some folks together to do that, or a time frame that would make sense.
I'd like to go get his eyes on it tomorrow if you'd pick me up on your way out there.
I'm not here tomorrow.
It's maintenance Wednesday. Or you did it today.
I did maintenance Wednesday today.
Okay. Next week.
Next week, okay?
Thursday?
Perfect.
All right, I'll make sure I'm in on that too.
And then the 19th is the day they're going to be here, right?
Yes. And I have not confirmed what time they plan on showing up, and so I'll get the details on that, but we do have a full day worth of repairs going on there.
Cool. Yeah, just text me. I'll put it on my calendar, so I'll be out there.
Perfect. Any other points of discussion? Questions?
Scott? No. Okay.
Public comment?
I got nothing.
All right. So moving forward on the check valve, our goal for the check valve is currently on lift station 1, we're already bypassing one of those check valves, but we're going to go ahead and kind of set up, because you have 3 pumps per lift station,
Right.
and then 3 check valves per. So any 2 of the pumps already have redundancy, so we can shut one of the pumps down and take a check valve out and work around it. Take that check valve, clean it up, and then look for parts. If we can find parts that fit, replacing parts on the check valve are going to be significantly less expensive.
Do we even know if we have parts here for him?
We may. I was speaking with Mike Arnold, and he has a guy in Carson City.
Yeah, Carson.
Okay.
Okay.
And he thinks that there's some universal parts that might work with our valve. Our valve is
Should be.
old enough that the manufacturer themselves don't have the parts anymore. So that's
course.
kind of where the concern comes in, where it's like, and then
Find them out of China.
yeah. And then the secondary part of that is, I think that the move forward is that we would be looking to have a check valve replacement in mind, so that we're not, months with this check valve out on the deck.
Exactly.
So if we can't find the parts, it's not working, then we have a replacement valve that we can put in, and
Okay.
then we can kind of go from that. But that's obviously something we'll bring to the board during a board meeting, unless we have other input or other insights that would be a better direction.
No, I'll take that to the board for sure.
Okay.
That's going to be expensive.
Just noticed an error on my agenda here with no committee discussion on item 6. So I apologize for that. Any public comment? Perfect. Coming back to Kathy and David for item number 7. We both are enrolled in classes, and we're both working towards our certification. We are paying them one time, but they're going to be able to certify both of our hours.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So that gives us a little bit of redundancy there. As far as I can tell, we're probably still looking at a year and a half time frame if we get credit for all hours worked to get enough hours to take the certification test. The class we signed up for, we have until
October 6th.
October 6th to finish. There's 3 tests, so we have to get that done by October, and that test qualifies us to take the grade certification test, but we also have to have our hours in before we
Right.
can do that.
Okay.
So, but once we get that test done, then it'll just be a matter of accumulating those hours. So
It's all about time.
and we're still working through how that looks as far as Zoom hours and phone calls and all that good jazz. But it seemed like they're really eager to work with us, and they're willing to work what we have available as far as funds and budgets.
Yeah, I mean, hours on job should count.
Yeah.
So,
So any other questions, points of direction, advice?
I got nothing.
All right. Any public comment? All right. So before we move into new business, I just wanted to kind of just create a little bit of a summary here. Our goal with these meetings, as long as they continue to be useful and so forth is really to try to find any advice and guidance in getting us moving in the right direction, and also any volunteers and help, as sometimes this can get kind of burdensome. There's kind of a lot going on. And so like getting out to the ponds and Brad out there by himself, or whatever the case is, having somebody to go along with them to look and inspect and all that stuff is really the goal here. So as long as we can get some productivity out of it, then I mean, it's definitely worth the energy we put into putting the agendas together and all that stuff. But I think ongoing, it makes sense for us to have this committee, because we're always going to have upgrades and maintenance and everything that we need for the sewer system. So there's always going to be something to talk about. But hopefully, as it gets closer down the road, these meetings might be on the shorter side, because it might have a bit less to talk about. Anyway, all right, we'll roll on to new business. Enrollment in Sac State, we kind of already covered that, but we worked with Kathy and Dave. They were the ones that kind of helped us get enrolled in those classes. There was fees with that kind of spitballing off the top of my head. There was test fees. I think they're $25 a piece times 3 for each of us. So that was $150 total. We bought a book, which was $100, and then I believe the enrollment cost was $150 each as well.
I believe so.
Right around there. But again, coming back to the investment of what we're paying Kathy to go through this process, it kind of made sense to duplicate those expenses, to have both of us going through for that grade.
Yeah, absolutely. More's better.
Did you have anything you wanted to say about the tests and the chapter? I haven't really got a chance to get in the book, so I just, if there's anything in particular that pops to mind.
Nothing right off the top of my head. Sorry.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
No, it's okay. Just be careful with the wording.
It can't be rocket science. Bubba did it.
Oh no, it isn't rocket science. It's just the way they word things.
I think the toughest part is working towards the certification. We are getting qualified for way more than what we have here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So the
we're
scope is like it's for a full treatment plant like they have in Clearwater, where they're actually taking wastewater and putting it back in the river clean.
yeah.
Like, that's a whole process that we have evaporation ponds, which when I got out here, I thought this is pretty complicated, and then I saw what complicated looks like. Oh, ours looks pretty good.
There's a half a page dedicated to ponds.
Yeah. So
The
key part
prison
is
does the same
remembering
thing. They turn it back to clean water. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's really impressive.
It's not amazing to see the stuff that comes out of there.
Yeah, but their facility was pretty eye opening. But
good.
So any other comments on that?
Nope.
Okay. Public comment? All right. Kind of blazed through that one pretty quick.
Good.
Is there anything that we wanted to discuss as far as a direction or concern that we didn't get to that may be worth bringing up to the board? We got the purpose of the meetings being today is the agenda for the board meeting it goes out Friday.
Right.
So it gets posted. So I have 3 days to add any action items or anything that we want to take to the board for Friday. If there's anything that,
No, I don't think we have anything yet. We completed a lot of stuff last time, so.
Yeah.
Just keep that stuff in motion.
okay. All right.
Take your test.
Take your test.
Do better.
All right. So before we wrap up, is there any additional public comment? All right. Then I'll turn it back over to our Jerry Oliver stepping in for our Scott Hagan.
Okay, adjourn.